With whitetail season upon us, and it being the first morning, the thought of getting a nice buck was fresh in one's mind, and while the flatlands of Saskatchewan provide a clear view for miles, it is the pursuit on foot that is required for a successful and worthwhile hunt. For stalk to be successful, you need to come up with a plan. In this case, a push from the west towards both Kaiden and Kevin, who had been moving towards the opposite end of the field. Having seen a decent whitetail buck first thing in the morning, the stalk was on.
You get a shot at him, Kaden?
Where's your doe bleed?
Excitement and adrenaline resulted in some indecision for Kaiden. Unsure of overall size and angle of the shot, we waited.
Still there.
It's okay.
It's alright.
With a new hunter to our group, getting Kaiden a chance at a buck was our top priority. As we weaved ourselves through the trees, we spotted a few mule deer. If only they were whitetail. Taking the time to appreciate some of the game you harvest is important. Giving these animals pause and taking the time to look at them is always worthwhile. The vast, deep, and sweeping valleys and pastures help to conceal the sand-colored hide of a whitetail. Being rifle season, both whitetail and mule deer started to group up respectively. Eventually though, the more persistent and the more miles you put on hiking, the closer you come to uncovering the veil. With the rut in full effect, the buck stayed close to the does. The buck that Kaiden had spotted was no different. Laser focused on the doe, the buck ran into an opening 300 yards below a valley. Kaiden set his sights down on the buck and pulled the trigger.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah. Well, I heard an hit just whack.
That's nice.
All right, buddy, good job.
Thank you.
Congrats, Kaden.
Nice.
That
Right on.
Really curls around, hey?
Yeah.
he's nice. I seen him on top of the hill and he started walking down.
I hit him a little low. It was like over. It was probably
You made
300.
a good shot. We finally seen some bucks this morning right off the bat. Just didn't get around on them quick enough. But he gave us a slip, but we went out here. We got on the pasture, and they're rutting pretty good. And seen this one, you guys made a good sneak on him, and
Yeah, he was chasing the door around for a while.
yeah, made a good long shot on him. And yeah, it's a nice deer. Good body on him. A good shot, probably not too much meat ruined. So,
Yeah,
good
thanks.
supply for the family.
Thanks for taking me.
Yeah, you're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Yeah, she was a good deal.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
With Kaiden's tag filled, Kevin and Terry now set off to look for more bucks, walking, sitting, and lots of glassing to spot the next location to plot the next plan was integral. The deer were moving, the rut was on, and the boys were feeling motivated. Sometimes, even though a buck is not a shooter, it can be a fun challenge to test your skills as a hunter and see how close you can call in a buck, even if it is a juvenile. Having a buck come across from a distance of 700 yards to 50 yards is a pretty cool experience, and serves as a good excuse to catch one's breath. Finding no does, the buck slowly carry on with his search.
Could it be a monster? A big one.
We trekked on, covering large swaths of ground, finding mostly mule deer in our search. Every 100 or so yards stopping to glass the hills as the pattern from the snow camouflages the deer. Though finding a white flag crest a hill means you are in the right place, it'll leave a hunter with a deep disappointment. A new day meant a new location for Kevin and Kelly as they found themselves sitting in a blind, hoping to have a beauty of a buck come through.
Okay, we're roughing it in the big shack here, and we're hoping to maybe get something coming in tonight. Got a good view, nice and warm. Well, it's not that cold out, but it's still nicer in here than outside.
Quite a unique buck ventured through the blind, but the guys decided to let him walk in hopes of checking on him the following year. foggy morning tends to bring out the bigger animals both in caliber and size. The lack of visibility helps to provide these animals with a sense of security and concealability. Stumbling on a great-sized bull moose is always a welcome sign, though in the foggy morning you have to be careful as they can be aggressive if caught on foot or damaging if hit on the road.
Yeah, that's a big moose.
With rifle season winding down for Kevin, more potential bucks presented themselves, but always at a difficult range. Sometimes, especially with whitetail, the nervousness is hard to act on. As they crest the back of the hills, a buck always looks nicer as it is running away, and sometimes a quick decision has to be made.
You hit that front one.
Well, that's like the last hour of the day. We feed 3 down the valley here, and 3 does, and the 3 bucks wandered off, and they kept coming up the hill. And
I want to take this time to thank our sponsors: Morstead Farms, Diamond S Ranch, Prairieland Taxidermy, T&K Oilfield Services, TSP Oilfield Construction, and Crown Advertising. Thank you. One dreams of seeing the beauty of a whitetail buck in his hunting experience, let alone getting a chance to harvest one. Silhouetting himself against the sinking November sun made those thick antlers stand out. After chasing a rival small buck off, the trophy that Terry was set on tagging retreated back into the group of trees. As it was the rut, Kevin and Terry looked for a doe to be lingering around, which would make for a good chance the buck would return, or at the very least, not venture too far. Heart pounding, adrenaline coursing through the body, Terry would make some misses. Being a seasoned veteran, this was not going to be easy, and Terry knew that. Inches turn into misses, and the anxiousness and excitement get the better of you. But determination is all that matters. Collecting himself and regrouping, Terry moved closer as the does refused to venture any more than a few yards, sticking close to the trees. Again, Terry tries for a shot. As the buck began to bolt, now not worried as much about the doe, he presented Terry with that one shot.
Just get ready. It's your gun. Should be ready just in case he pops up. All right.
That's a nice deer, buddy.
All right on.
Thanks,
Good
Kevin.
job.
Thanks for helping, buddy. Pretty happy with him.
No doubt.
Probably one of my best to date. He's really got nice long main beams on him and stuff. Curls around pretty good. The only fault, he's got a little broke off tip here and he's missing his 5 there, or his 4 I should say.
Yeah, he's got that one brow tine. He's got the little
But he's got some pretty cool brow tines here and
dimple on him there at the front.
some extra junk. So all this will score up too. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a nice deer.
pretty happy with him.
Yeah.
Being with longtime hunting partners and new to the group hunters is always special. The animals you see and discuss, and the stories told to help strengthen the social bonds between others. The skittish but clever whitetail is always an enjoyable hunting adventure. Buck fever is really a thing, and it's hard to overcome. Seeing that smile come across that hunter's face, knowing that his dream has been fulfilled, makes the time spent walking and effort in glassing hills worth it. Surrounded by friends and family is the ultimate thrill. Harvesting an animal is a bonus. Thank you for joining the pursuit.